A former federal prosecutor believes that former Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani is going to flip on his old client. Interesting. So, in a Sunday column for Politico, ex former federal prosecutor Renato Mariotti noted that federal agents may be examining whether Giuliani was acting at the behest of Ukrainian officials when he urged Trump to oust the then ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch. So, again, this goes back to what had happened in Ukraine, subject of Donald Trump's first impeachment. Um, if Giuliani, here's what Mariotti said about that quote: "If Giuliani's efforts to push Trump to fire Yovanovitch were done on behalf of Ukrainian officials, that could be part of the sort of foreign lobbying activity that he should have disclosed." Now, uh, we should okay. We all kind of know by now, or at least we should, that you cannot lobby on behalf of a foreign government or foreign actors without telling the government. It's lobbying 101. Okay. And literally the easiest thing that you can do if you're a registered lobbyist. Um, Fill out a form where you say, yes, I'm working on behalf of so and so from Ukraine. Yes, they are paying me to do so. Um, okay, that in itself, look, that whole that whole thing is super corrupt. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that you could do that, that you can lobby on behalf of not only a foreign government, but also a foreign corporation or just a domestic corporation, if there's such a thing. And I don't like the fact that you can lobby, but the laws are set up that it is so incredibly easy to get paid to use your influence to lobby members of Congress. It is so simple. It is so easy to make mountains of cash lobbying, even on behalf of foreign governments. And yet, Rudy Giuliani and a lot of these people, Paul Manafort as well, are so stupid that they decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to not report it to the government. And of course, since they didn't report it to the government, they made all this cash and spent it on whatever they wanted to without reporting it. I guess probably even without paying taxes on it, I would assume. And so the it shouldn't be surprised that Rudy Giuliani, again, this guy's you know he's good old butt dialing, hair dye melting, putting his hands down his pants around minors. Rudy Giuliani, okay, he is not a smart person. They're not sending his best. I'm saying. Only somebody who's a complete and utter cretin, a dipshit of the highest magnitude, can go from America's mayor, the guy who supposedly saved New York on 9/11, even though he didn't actually do anything, and stop crime. Again, he didn't actually do that, but instead, help with horrible policies like stop and frisk, to a always loaded, conspiracy loving lawyer to the worst modern president in history. Any and all goodwill that he unfairly earned, in my opinion, has been pissed away in such glorious fashion. It has been an actual just a joy watching this chuckle fuck implode. And he ain't done yet because apparently his biggest act may be yet to come. The former federal prosecutor, as I mentioned, observed that an indictment of Giuliani could mean that it is that he could turn on Donald Trump, and that would be bad for Donald Trump. Now, at that point, Mariotti says he will need to adopt a defense strategy that may put him at odds with his former client. He said, noting that Trump would be unlikely to testify on behalf of Giuliani. Again, wouldn't even give him a preemptive pardon. So there's that. That would make him worthless for Giuliani as a witness and force Giuliani to point the finger at Trump to save himself. So you got everybody throwing each other under the bus. All right. The 5-year sentence Manafort received for conspiring to violate the Foreign Agent Registrations Act, FARA, gives Giuliani ample incentive to do so, especially since he knows Trump cannot pardon him any longer because, of course, he's out of power. Now, that's also why there was a lot of talk of preemptive pardoning. Giuliani, I think he knew that, he was doing some things that were wrong. And so that's the whole speculation there. Is that he was asking for these preemptive pardons because nobody asks for a preemptive pardon if they're not actually doing anything wrong. And it also goes along with the speculation, the fact that he did not get said pardon, that their relationship had been pretty sour, not only during the election, but of course afterward. And this would be the end result. Mariotti also added, when a lawyer, particularly a famous federal prosecutor like Giuliani, okay, Giuliani was a lawyer. Can you imagine? Couldn't imagine being represented by this guy. Oof. Sad. But anyway, he said, when a lawyer, particularly a famous former federal prosecutor like Giuliani, faces time in prison, the incentive to reduce that sentence is significant. Just like with Michael Cohen, Giuliani will have every incentive to help federal prosecutors if it could potentially reduce his prison sentence. That could make the Giuliani prosecution far more consequential than it appears at first glance, given his role in everything from the defense of Trump's impeachment to the January 6th insurrection. Remember, trial by combat. Without Trump's protection or financial support, Giuliani's loyalty would seem to have a limited shelf life. Now, of course, this is it's all speculation here, but at the same time, a lot of the speculation seems pretty well grounded with what we know about Trump's inner circle. So now I also have to add that with Trump being out of power as he is, he's lost a lot of his legal protection. His only advantage here is that the Republican base absolutely is still enamored with him. Again, he has built an incredibly robust cult following. And so he has, as a result of that, a lot of defenders within the Republican Party, although not as many super important ones as he once had. And so that could play out in any number of ways. Okay. And I don't know if that's going to be enough. Now, that said, speaking of Michael Cohen, you'll remember Michael Cohen. He decided that he was going to weigh in on this on CNN. And, well, let's take a look at what he had to say.
Do you think that he would offer up information about President Trump? In other words, turn on Donald Trump?
First of all, you have to understand, there really is no relationship, nor has there ever been, between Rudy and Donald. Prior to Donald becoming president, Rudy didn't like Donald, and Donald certainly didn't like Rudy. So do I think Rudy will give up Donald in a heartbeat? Absolutely. He certainly doesn't want to follow my path down into a 36-month sentence for something as innocuous as a hush money payment, right, to a porn star. And I want to say it here and again, at the direction of and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump. What's ironic here is the fact that these tactics of the Southern District of New York in terms of bullying you into a plea deal were created by Rudy Giuliani going back 30 years ago. And it's just ironic that the tactics that he created for that office are now going to be employed against him in terms of making him plead guilty and certainly, at the least, turning over information about Jared, Ivanka, about Don Jr., about Donald himself, about all of these individuals in that garbage can orbit of Donald Trump.
I'm sorry. Garbage can orbit. I would say that's pretty accurate to describe that. Now, he also said this. There's no doubt that he's nervous, and it's rightly so that he's nervous, because he knows the power of the Southern District of New York is unlimited, and they use that power. And again, as you heard him say, yeah, Rudy Giuliani has no interest in spending time in prison. So is he going to flip on Donald Trump? Yeah. That said, I would disagree with one fact. Never bet against stupidity. Always bet in favor of stupidity. Why? Because these people they're not very smart. They've done a lot of really, really stupid things. Joe 777B says Michael Cohen was Trump's garbage man, so he would know about trash. So, sometimes it takes trash to talk about trash. And that's what we have here in Rudy Giuliani and Donald Trump. All trash. All trash. All garbage. and not very smart garbage either. And again, Rudy Giuliani thinks he's smart. They all think they're smart, but they're actually really stupid. But like a lot of these conservatives, they're also incredibly self-interested. So if the evidence is damning enough, to which, again, Giuliani got his apartment raided, had a bunch of stuff, electronic devices that were taken. I mean, if they find enough damning evidence on those devices, well, that could be real bad. And so you could see a plea deal, and I could see this going exactly the way that Cohen is talking about. So as far as what's going to happen, well, I would just say this. Everybody get your popcorn ready. So I think this whole thing is about to get real entertaining. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.